Hey, guess what, everybody? Go listen to the Break It Down show.
And now, the Break It Down show with John and Pete.
Let's get it up.
Let's get it up. So we are in Santa Monica on the beach, hanging out with TV host Jax Austin.
Hey.
What's going on, man?
You know, a lot of things right now.
Well, before we get into what you're doing now, let's go back a little bit and figure out how the hell you got here.
Well, where should we start?
Okay, so what made you want to get into this field? I mean, you could have been a fireman. You could have been whatever, a gigolo, whatever it was. and you picked...
I might be a gigolo on the side. You never know.
Well, that's true. You do have the travel thing. You're like, hey, ladies, I'm here for them.
Hello, ladies. I like to travel.
Exactly right. So, travel host, but also the foodie thing kind of mixed in, sort of like Anthony Bourdain. Kind of, but
a little bit nicer.
Yeah, a little nicer. Yeah, a little more pleasant. You know, honestly, that stuff, I'm not a big Anthony Bourdain fan. Why be mean if you can be nice?
You know, I love his personality. I can relate to it in a way, but he definitely has that New Yorker thing going on.
Sure, yeah.
Where it's like, you know, just very intense. Like, you know, if you deviate from whatever his norm is, it's like he just crushes it, and it makes for fun TV. But yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. I think my aunt really hates him, but I think everyone else in my family loves him.
Well, you're also a beach kind of guy, though, too.
Yeah, from about 10 years old, we moved to San Diego.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, I jumped in the ocean. Literally, one of the first things I did in San Diego once I moved was to get a surfing lesson.
Right.
So yeah, that was really cool, and I grew up, you know, basically living at the beach. I worked at a surf camp, lived in tents for about 7 years because I worked at a surf camp.
Wow.
Was on the high school surf team, college surf team. We won the national title, which is not a big deal.
That's a big deal. Let's not underplay that. The national. So how? Yeah. So I mean, Kansas doesn't have surf teams?
No, that's why it's not like a huge deal because it's limited to basically colleges by the beach,
right? Which
have surf teams, and that's like a dozen. So that's why it's like not that big of a deal.
But it is a big deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a small deal.
Yeah.
Medium deal.
Medium deal. How about that?
I'll take medium deal.
You are a champion then.
I'm a medium deal.
You're a medium deal champion. Yes. We're also joined in studio here with Jax's buddy Lucas, who's going to jump in on the mic if he feels like it.
Yeah, don't be shy, bud.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you need to correct me for anything.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, keep him straight.
Yeah.
So you're in San Diego.
Yeah, so how did I get started in everything? Or?
Yeah, how did you pick this? I mean, how did you know that you wanted to be in front of the camera, traveling around, eating crazy ass shit like ghost peppers and stuff?
Well, it's funny. I didn't I wanted to be a pro surfer.
Okay.
And so, you know, I tried that out for a while and did this pro contest series called the PSTA.
Okay.
And I think the most I ever won was like $50. The entry fee was like $125, so it was just like it was like a loss every month.
That's sort of like my racing career, where you're like, I technically could be a pro racer because we could win money, but we don't.
So it's like, you know, I was like technically kind of a pro surfer, but I wasn't getting paid, so I was kind of like not really. So it was like, I don't know. It's kind of up for debate.
Is it minor leagues, sort of? Or is
it? That would definitely be considered like the minor league equivalent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it
like better than T-ball, but less than MLB? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's single A, double A ball. I mean, you got to go somewhere to get your pro chops up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to tear it up when no one's looking. It's another thing when you're trying to earn your paycheck.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, I tried that for a couple, let's say like a solid year, maybe 2 years. You know, my uncle was like, you know, all the money that you're making at the golf course, picking up golf balls.
Right.
You know, if you go to school, I'll pay you twice as much.
Wow.
So then I went to college and, you know, did that whole thing, community college.
Sure.
And then, after I think I did my 4-year degree at 2-year school.
Yeah.
Then after that, I went to USC, here in Los Angeles, moved to LA. You know, studying, economics, and it was just one of those things where I just didn't really like it. You know, it was like, I was really good at math, really good at numbers. And, you know, I like some of the theories and stuff like that. But, you know, it was just like, I was doing this stuff and I just didn't really like it. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do for a job after this? Like, it sounds like I'm going to be one of those 9 to 5, you know, hamsters in the hamster wheel, just, you know, like a robot. And, so, you know, I tried my hand at real estate. After going basically for 3 months traveling,
Did you finish up at USC and get a degree, or did you stop?
Yeah, I had some like health issues, and I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. Had a collapsed lung, and it just was kind of hard to like continue on. And I was just like, what am I going to do? And so just kind of like, I don't know, dropping out sounds kind of intense, but I just like literally did not have it in me to finish up.
Yeah, well, I mean, a collapsed lung is a serious thing, but also recognizing that your life wasn't going in that direction.
Yeah, because, I started to take some theater classes, some improv, acting, beginning, intermediate, acting for camera. And I was like, wow, this is kind of fun.
So is this one of the first times the light clicks on for you then?
Well, I realized that, there's two different ways to study. You can study something that you don't like, or you can study something you have a great time doing.
Right.
And so I was actually having a really fun time, and, it was about 25 or something like that when all the, health problems ensued, and I was just kind of like, shit, what am I going to do now? It's like got myself in a pickle,
Right.
And so basically I just wanted to take some time off. So I ended up going down to Guatemala. I walked across the border at San Diego into TJ with a backpack, no cell phone.
Now, hold on. TJ's nowhere near Guatemala.
No.
So, okay.
No.
And was the plan Guatemala going in?
Yeah, because wow. So check it out. So I didn't want to fly to Guatemala because, like if you just fly somewhere, you're just going to go from like hot water to cold water.
Right.
And I wanted to experience the whole spectrum in between.
Okay.
So, and, I didn't know how long my money was going to last me. So I calculated that it would be cheaper to travel by bus.
Okay.
And also a lot more rich of an experience to see, a country just like the locals see it,
right.
just by the average person on a bus, second class, third class, first class bus. So yeah, I made my way down through Mexico for about a month.
I can cut it out if you don't want to say, but do you mind me asking how much you had with you as far as?
It was about $3,500.
$3,500, so not a lot.
And you don't have to cut that out.
Okay.
If people need to know how cheap it can be to travel for so long.
Yeah.
It can be completely life changing.
Right.
And it was for me. So yeah, I basically. So about a month, kind of bounced around. The first bus I was on was 29 hours.
Oh my goodness.
To Mazatlan.
Yeah.
This is the point I realized, maybe I should have bought that ticket that cost $10 more.
Right.
For the first class instead of the second class. About 5 hours into the trip, I realized I was the only person using the restroom on the bus, because when you would open and close the door, this hot air of shit would flow into the bus. It smelled like a horrible porta potty mixed with some sort of like cheap fragrance.
But inside the bus.
Inside the bus. And there was no air conditioning.
No.
And it was hot. It was like a nasty Greyhound type thing, but
right.
like really old. I noticed everyone else was waiting for the bus stops to actually use the restroom. So I kind of, it was like 10 cents or whatever to use the toilet. So I started waiting for that. But basically, I made my way through Mexico, met some people. Yeah, so basically, long story short, I made my way through Mexico for about a month. Would stop places, met people. Oh, cool, you're going somewhere too. Okay, cool, let's travel together kind of thing.
Do you speak Spanish?
Sí, hablo español.
Okay. Yo soy 15 tortugas. It always gets a laugh. That's why I say it. It's fun.
Yeah, hablo español muy bien.
So you weren't worried about language in this case?
No, not too much.
Okay.
But I did go down. My purpose was to study Spanish in Guatemala.
Okay.
So yeah, it was cool. So basically, it took about a month to get through Mexico. Then I got down to Guatemala, and I was studying Spanish for about 2 months. My Spanish lessons cost a whopping $3 an hour for private lessons.
No kidding.
Yep.
$3 an hour?
Oh yeah.
How often are you doing that? A couple times a week?
No. I think Monday. Was it every single day? I think no, Monday through Friday. I think.
Okay.
And then I got a job in this hostel I was staying at to pay for my hostel room. It was really expensive. It was $2.75 a night. What? So I was making 95 cents an hour plus tips.
And did you know this going in that for $5 a day you can get lessons and a place to sleep?
I knew roughly how much it would cost me. And
Okay.
that's why I went down there with such limited funds, is because I knew like once I was down there it would be really cheap. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that brought me back was my car payments. I had this Audi, and it was just a siphon in my wallet, and it would cost me, $500 for these payments, and really chewed into my vacation time. So if I didn't have that car, I would have stayed there for a lot longer. Okay. Some people have been there for a couple of years. It's kind of like a hippie kind of place.
Right.
And a lot of backpackers and Israelis and, people
Is there surfing in Mazatlan?
Smoking pot and mushrooms and the whole thing down there. It's like, it's
very
really,
bohemian.
Oh, very bohemian place. Super cool place. Lago Atitlan, Lake Atitlan in Guatemala.
Guatemala, man.
Yeah. Real backpacker kind of place.
All the way through Mexico, across the border in Guatemala. No issues crossing a border in Guatemala?
None. No, actually, before I left, my mom was like, oh my God, you're going to Mexico? You're going to get robbed and wake up missing in Oregon. And oh my God. And I was just kind of like, oh, really? All right, let's see what happens then. We're so afraid here in the States. So, the ironic thing was I got a call when I was in Guatemala from my mom. So I called her back. Hey, Mom, what's up? Oh, I got some bad news. I'm like, okay.
Uh-oh.
Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? Oh, the house got broken into and all your stuff got stolen.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, that's funny because I have everything with me now, including my organs.
Yeah. Here I am down in criminal haven where people can harvest kidneys.
Mom, love you.
Yeah.
Love you. I know you're listening to this right now. Love you, Mom.
I love my mom too, but she doesn't listen.
That's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah. So was there, so 3 months total, and then basically came back. And this is kind of where I was starting to think, basically, like, I love traveling. I am in love with traveling. I'm obsessed with traveling. How in the world can I get paid to travel? Of course, I came back thinking, like, man, I have so many opportunities. I got to get a job, save up some money, and then peace out. And so then I started doing subprime mortgages.
Right.
It was awful.
Ugh.
I was on the dialer, dialing 500 people a day.
500 a day?
Sorry. And if I called anybody out there and recognized my voice out there from 2007. I sincerely apologize for bothering you at 4:00 p.m.
Oh.
It was terrible.
It is terrible. What's a telemarketer get paid who sells subprime mortgages?
Man, it was a friend of mine, so he's kind of doing me a favor.
Right.
But yeah, I think he was trying to work out a thing where it was like a commission thing. If the person agreed to the mortgage, then you would get like a flat fee because I didn't have a license and whatever.
Right.
But he was giving me like, I think about 200 bucks a week. I was making like $50 a day. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was basically paying for my gas to and from work.
Right. You're paying to have
food.
a job.
Yeah.
And not getting anywhere nearer to your goal.
No. So then after that, I was like, I got to get out of here. And a friend of mine who actually I met in surf camp when I was a kid, he's in real estate. So, we talked and he's like, business is picking up. I need an assistant. So I went up there and again was kind of not paid so much, but I was working and I got my license. I want to be this real estate agent. Come on, check out this great house. It's so nice. Great area, a great school for your kids.
Right.
And I had three listings and they were all short sales and it was awful.
Yeah.
And so, one of my friends who's a creative guy came up with a company and left his job and basically we had lunch together. He wanted me to run his company and he was like, would you do TV hosting, travel hosting if you never got paid? And I thought about it and I was like,
I would. Yeah.
Yeah, because I love it. And he's like, well, then that is the thing you should do. I don't want you working for me. You need to go and do this. So then I transitioned jobs, I got this other side job, which paid me more money and I had more flexibility. And, shortly after, and then I was in the office, in the real estate office, and this guy stops me, this guy, Michael Hyatt, and I was in Prudential. He's like, what is your dream job? I'm just walking by out of the blue.
Yeah.
I'm like, a travel show host, duh. Seriously. I was like, is there any other answer for this? He's like, well, I used to be in TV. I think it was a showrunner. He's like, you don't just go from real estate into TV. You got to work at it. You got to take lessons. You got to be an agent, whatever. And all these things were completely foreign.
Right.
It was like speaking Mongolian to me. I was like, huh?
So there was a process. You're totally unaware of it.
Oh, yeah. Completely unaware. I didn't know anything.
So you really just had a dream. Like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
But no path to it other than I need to save money.
Yeah.
Which you couldn't do because you kept having these bullshit jobs.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I went to yoga, went to this hot yoga class, and then I went to this vegan restaurant afterwards. By the way, I'm not vegan. I will eat any animal.
All right.
Including your dog, so watch out. Just kidding. So yeah, I was at this restaurant and I sat down next to this beautiful blonde woman with this cowboy hat on. And of course, I'm checking her out and she happens to glance over and we start talking and she's like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm in real estate and the whole spiel.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about you? And she's like, oh, I'm in entertainment. I have a show on Animal Planet. I am a dog trainer. I'm like, God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I'm like, my dream job is to have a travel show. And she's like, oh, cool. And, you know, kind of went back and forth. And she happened to mention that she knew like a coach. And so I was like, okay, cool. You know, like, you know, exchange numbers. We happened to go back there the next night and she was also there. Sat down next to her, the same seat, the same thing, same cowboy hat. And guess who walks by? The coach.
Wow.
So then I took his class.
Now,
and,
was this serendipity or was this sort of rigged up?
No, that was just by chance.
Just happened. Wow.
Yeah. And so this guy, you know, walks by. So exchange numbers. And I think I took his class like within a week or two after that.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, $200 or $250 for like one day.
Oh, wow.
And you're in a class with like 15 other people.
Right.
So your $200, $250 is basically getting you like 5 minutes of in front of a camera with zero experience.
Right.
So I was like, being the economist, I was like, I'm not getting very much bang for my buck.
Right. I can't do this.
I could pay someone a third of the price and go film for hours and just get all the kinks out myself.
Right.
And so after that, I hired the camera guy who was from the class and the footage was awful.
I imagine that guy's trying to hustle too, though. He's trying to get somewhere. He doesn't want to work for some guy who's.
No, he drove all the way up to Venice Beach for $100 and we filmed for a few hours and I think started in Chinatown by downtown and then went to Venice and whatever. And it was really cool. Yeah, like I said, it was awful. And then I went to another coach who's a bit more well-known. I won't name names in LA, but she definitely is a hustler and has repeat customers. And it's a whole, you know, business unto itself.
But it sounds like you're on a process anyhow. Like you had to get to the first guy to learn that there were more people.
I had to get through the first guy to go to the better woman. And she's really good, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, I took her, you know, class, but same thing. It was, instead of 12 people, there was like 36 people.
Right.
And I was just like, this is so expensive. So yeah. And then after that, I just was kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of mildly frustrated or whatever. And someone mentioned there's this cool event down by the beach. I should go and check it out and film.
Nice.
And so like literally with a day's notice, I found somebody on Craigslist, my buddy Avi. Actually, no, someone else. Avi was later, but basically I found this guy on Craigslist. Went down to the beach with zero knowledge of how to produce, host, or direct anything. And I went down there and was just kind of like, okay, cool. Anthony Bourdain does these walk and talk things. We should definitely do a walk kind of thing. Like you should film me walking.
Right. Let's do that.
Let's walk. So basically, you know, it was like this terrible footage and, you know, it was me walking and having these like, you know, long, like looks, you know, whatever. And it was all voiceover. I think it was like 99% voiceover. And it was so bad. And so then after that, the next weekend, there was another event.
Right.
So I paid the guy another $150 or whatever. And basically I cranked out 4 of these things within a matter of like a couple months.
With this probably a comparable cost of 1 or maybe even 2 classes of the coach's time?
Yeah, with 2 classes.
Right.
I literally would just hire people out of, you know, pure desire and frustration with the classes. I just wanted some real world experience. And I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it myself.
Right.
And so at the end of it, I had 4 episodes and met a guy and he, you know, Dustin, love you for, or listening to this. Dustin helped me edit all these things and took a lot of time and he actually made it kind of decent, you know, it was kind of cool. And he joined me for the 4th shoot because we had 3. And then with him, there was a 4th one. It came out way better. Yeah. With actually some people helping me and, you know, people that know what they're doing. So then put that whole thing together and then just kind of got kind of stuck in the mud a little bit, you know? And then I went back for more classes and then just realized like basically the more classes I take, the more I feel like I need to go back to the classes to pay this woman more money, to read more teleprompter.
Right.
I'll never read a teleprompter in the field ever.
Right.
So I don't want to read a teleprompter.
Well, why would you want to? You're about an experience.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So basically the economist in me was like, you know, you're not getting much out of this. So, you know, I don't know, I dicked around with YouTube videos and some other things. And then actually I started booking things. Somebody wanted me for a pilot in Brazil. So I got a whole trip paid to Brazil and to film for 10 days.
Now, how does that work? I mean, so you're taking you're out there kind of banging around.
Yep.
Sort of teaching yourself.
Yep.
teaching yourself, and you're sort of like me in that I'm going to continue to hit my head in the wall. And every then I'm going to come out of it and be like, I have to stop hitting my head in the wall and go and do what works.
Yeah.
But then you got to go bang your head in the wall for a while again. So all of a sudden this Brazil gig comes up. But tell us how does that happen?
It happens when someone from your network,
right,
from your friend circle, knows someone who's looking for a travel host.
Right.
And she's like, hey, are you interested? And I'm like, well, yeah, sure.
Of course.
And I sent them my info and went and test shot for a day. And next thing you know, I'm flying to Brazil.
Let me talk to your economist brain. Okay. so you know that $250 for a course for 8 hours, or whatever, is bullshit because there's 42 people in there and you're only going to get, and you're doing the math. And you're like, I'm paying for $250 for 8 minutes.
Yeah, literally.
So what do you charge to go to Brazil? Or how do you economize that where you say the experience is worth X?
I went for free.
Right.
I didn't charge. I went for free, and it was just sign my life away. Basically, you can do whatever you want with the footage or whatever.
Right.
And then the footage has just been sitting on a hard drive ever since. And that was like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. So yeah, that's what happens when you're on low budget projects.
Yeah.
I mean, reality kicks in and things just never turn into anything. But it was a great experience.
It's a great experience. And you also have to realize other people are banging their head against the wall too, trying to figure out how to figure out what they're trying to figure out.
Yeah, like he's an editor and it was his first time directing.
Right.
And so it was a great experience. I was definitely glad to go, but my experience level was very low. His was low. And so that's kind of what happens. That's why when I work with people, I like to get people with more experience than me, because that's I can't be doing everything, especially things I don't know what to do.
Right.
And I'm still learning things as I go.
Well, it doesn't sound like you'll ever stop learning things, though. I mean, if you're going to get a piece of it down, you're going to go for a whole new avenue within that.
Yeah, totally.
Get deeper, wider, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're picking up gigs. Brazil gets picked up. What's next after that?
Sure, what's next after that? After that, I think I made some, I was like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to make my own every Tuesday videos, and they're going to be about travel stuff and whatever. I just, for some reason, would make these videos, and then people would be like, oh, yeah. He's like the food guy. He eats weird stuff. And I was like, well, that's one aspect of my personality. Sure. And I was kind of like, God, I really want to do these longer format things. And then after that, I think I booked some content, an online thing in San Francisco.
So you book an online thing in San Francisco.
Paid, finally.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, so back to the economist brain. Mm-hmm. I know last time I didn't get any money, right?
Yeah.
I got a free trip out of it, which is great and all, but I still got to pay for this Audi.
Yeah.
So how much do you charge?
That one I was paid north of $1,000 a day.
Okay.
It was good money.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing.
Right.
I had this moment while we were filming, while they were like, all right, so you're going to go surfing today. I'm like, wait, let me get this straight. wait, hold up for a second here.
On.
You're gonna pay me to go surfing? Okay, cool. Where do we go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And so your career as a pro surfer, you didn't even net money.
No, it wasn't even close to my day rate.
Yeah. And then one day as a host, pro surfer gone, career.
Eclipsed everything the surfing ever brought me. So I'm out in the water with this chick from the surf shop, and I look at her and I'm like, I'm on the clock right now. This is in San Francisco. She's like, yeah, I am too. I was like, yeah, but you don't understand what I'm getting paid for the day. This is awesome. But it was a really great experience. It was super fun. Yeah, it's weird because of basically Twitter, I've had a lot of people hit me up and say, oh, yeah, I have this project for this and that. Right. And that wasn't the first gig that came my way that was paid. There was a couple, TV shows that people wanted me for. They wanted me to sign these deals with them and whatever. And I was just one thing led to another, and I just wasn't comfortable with either the concept or the person or the production company or whatever it was. So yes, that was my.
But that's official. A developed thing, though. I mean, to get to the point where you're not just automatically saying yes, you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right. You may not know why, but you know that it's not.
Yeah.
Your happy place.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like honestly, every couple of weeks, every week or 2 weeks, someone gets hold of me on Twitter and is like, hey, I'm so-and-so. We like you. I saw your thing. It's great. Let's talk. And I can't even tell you how many times I've talked to someone on Skype or the phone and just turns into nothing. But it's, the one thing that does turn into something, you're glad that it does.
Are they looking at your YouTube work then? Is it coming back to keep paying or?
I think my reel, they'll come across me and then they'll watch my reel and, they'll say, oh, we have this, project. You'd be good for it and whatever. And, luckily now I have an agent. She's great. Yeah, there's a few. Oh, and I also shot with another thing in the desert. Now, it was supposed to be for TV. I think they wanted to send it to Destination America, but now it's going to head to online. So that is fun. That was with a friend of mine, Christina Chaw, who was on Survivor.
Okay.
Two of us running around doing crazy things and experiencing all things Americana. That's fun. And then some other things, I have some other opportunities, but, I'm not like what is it? I can't even think right now. I think I'm missing my coffee. A superstitious. There we go.
Okay, you're not
I'm
superstitious.
not a superstitious dude, but I don't want to mention anything before it's official, but there are some bigger things.
That's cool.
Bigger opportunities coming. I'll tell you when the mic is not recording.
If you like the show,
and you know you do,
send us some pictures of your boobies.
don't do that. Support the show.
There are 3 ways you can support us.
Number 1, go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And leave a 5-star rating and review.
It helps with the show metrics and helps us get better placement. Number 2,
Visit our website.
www.breakitdownshow.com.
We've got an Amazon and an eBay link.
Same Amazon, same eBay, you know and love, but they give us a little kickback when you get to their site from ours. And number 3, leave comments about the shows that you like. We want to know what you think, how you feel.
Tell us how to make the show better. We greatly appreciate it.
Now back to the show.
We like boobies.
So,
I've always wanted to, even though I don't surf, I always wanted to go to Morocco, like those camps on the beach.
oh yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, Morocco would be super cool. The
Yeah.
food and the
Yeah,
culture
the whole thing.
and the whole,
That's fantastic.
culture. Wink, wink. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be a
All
trip.
right. So you've got a couple things that are in development right now that you're not going to talk about, and that's
Yeah.
fantastic because we'll hear about those soon enough, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But what's your thing? I mean, you've had to learn the process and how to get to an agent. You've got all that stuff figured out, and you don't want to be just the guy that eats penises on TV.
Right.
What's your thing? What are you? What makes you different than Anthony Bourdain or any of the other people that do that kind of work?
We're all different. Even there's a guy, Eddie Wang, on Vice, and, he has it's basically your personality is what sets you apart. Like I would say most of it is your personality, right?
Right.
How you interpret things, how you go places and you see the world and you interact with people. And, Bourdain is one guy, Zimmerman's another guy, and Eddie Wang is a different guy. And, everybody else on TV has their own unique personality. However, it also depends, immensely on the kind of show. And I have a pretty broad reach with things. So, I'm not a one-trick pony. I have different abilities, different interests, different skill sets. So it's hard to say what kind of a show I'm going to have when I do have a show. But I would say definitely personality.
I'll tell you what I like about how you approach things. And I've watched quite a bit of video in prepping for the show. And one of the things, I'm from California also, so we have a similar sensibility, and I love San Diego. I love OB. The thing I love to say about OB is your drug dealer might also be your lawyer.
Yeah. I made my mom go there on Tuesday or Wednesday, and when I surprised her, I was like, I want to go to OB.
Yeah.
And by the way, you need to buy a house so then I can come visit you and walk to the beach and go surfing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I have friends down there, and I love every time I get a chance to go down there. I like it better than Venice Beach. Venice Beach, I always feel like someone's trying to rob me.
Oh yeah.
Big
time.
Probably because someone is.
It probably is. Okay, I'm sorry. We got a little sidetracked from your question.
Yeah. So no, my breakdown of what I think you are. So what I like about you is less of the New York City, oh my God, I'm shocked by all the things that I'm seeing. You're more able to kind of California style, I would put it, roll with the punches. Like, okay, we're going to go zip line through this canopy, and oh, there's a monkey. You're more about the experience of doing that and less about the, oh my God, I'm shocked by the difference and I'm not in New York anymore. Yeah. And I love that about you.
Yeah. It's fun to be somewhere when something organic just kind of happens. And who knows, maybe it's something that my improv teacher taught me back in USC, Eric Truls, great guy, that basically in improv, you never say no. You always say yes. And so when you're playing these improv games, I'm like, okay, I'm a purple dinosaur, like, you don't say, no, you're not. You're a lawyer. That's not very fun. And I think the same thing is true when the camera's rolling. If you're somewhere and you're resisting, that's not going to be really fun. You're supposed to embrace things when you're a travel host and you're in a foreign land. With a food you've never had before. What fun is it to see someone say no to everything? I love saying yes, to things.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to be able to travel. And it's it's a dream come true to be paid to travel. So there's no way I'm going to say no.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're going to say yes to those things and definitely keep experiencing because we want to keep hearing those tales and watching you encounter it. How far are you from, or maybe you've reached this point already. When did you reach the point where you said, no shit, I really can do this?
Wow. I think after I got my first videos done, the first ones I ever did,
right.
like literally right out of the gate, I was like, wow, I can do this, and I was watching it and I was like, I don't really like the quality of my performance,
right.
Per se, but I was like, if I just keep at this, eventually it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
and,
right.
your personality is going to develop and get bigger on camera and,
right.
you're going to work with better people. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I never told myself I couldn't do this. It was always, just hire yourself until somebody hires you, basically. Like, just be your dream. That's my mantra. If you want to be like you are a podcaster.
Right.
You are doing the podcasting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Instead of saying like, oh man, I'd love to be a podcaster one day, or I'd love to have a podcast, or just, it's as simple as doing it. Be the person that you want.
Absolutely.
That dream that you wanted to do.
On the entertainment side of things and the artisan side of things, the bar for entry is so low now.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a couple $100 worth of gear here and we're a little fancy. You know, you went out and hired a guy for $100 and grabbed a computer that everybody has and edited on it. Mm-hmm. You really, doesn't make your stuff good.
No.
But it does give you the ability to start to learn.
But you know what? It's not even about good at that point. It's, the satisfaction of completing something like that is greater than critiquing yourself. Anybody can cut you down and say, "Oh, that sucks." Well, I did it, and what are you doing? You're critiquing.
Yeah.
So there's power. There's a lot of self power when you go and you do something, as you know.
Right.
In a way, we're very similar. So yeah, that's it. There's not even a question. It's just I'm doing.
Right.
And hopefully people like what I'm doing. I went to Mexico recently. I don't know. I think you kind of read something.
Oh, I did. I read the article for sure. Yeah.
So,
and I love those stories. So from the article, and we'll put a link on the podcast. One of the things that you talk about, and I love these things, is there are so many great stories out there. And I feel like a lot of the bigger shows that are more established, they can't go out and do what you do what we do. Mm-hmm. And go learn about the guy who's got a taco shack and tells you this great tale.
Yeah.
These epic tales. I mean, like I'm going to get on a bus and I'm going to head south until about Guatemala or so, and then that whole tale is fascinating. Yeah. This guy's story. So
there's four,
great.
So the Mexico thing, there's 4 people that I interview. And, part of it was kind of out of frustration because like people are like, oh, you're the food guy. Let's go shoot food. Or let's like come up with a show and have the spin be you eating the things in here and there and what. And I'm kind of like, yeah. And like I said before, I have a, broad range, a lot of skill sets. So I was just like, what can I do that A, I like, and B, isn't so like narrow of a hook that it's like a thing. And so I was just like, I love talking with people and I love these inspiring stories. I grew up with a very inspiring uncle who took me under his wing, and that's a whole nother story. But basically he was a self-made man. So I found these other self-made people. Because in a way I feel self-made. Right. If I can, say that about myself. I think
if you're not made, you are making yourself for sure.
Yeah. So I, a friend of mine had all these contacts and, I told him, I said, I want to find some really inspiring people. I am so impressed by, immigrants who come to our country and work their asses off and save their money and go somewhere and buy something.
Right.
Because me and my family and everyone I know is always paying off some sort of a loan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they save up money and they go back home and then they open up some sort of business, or they come here and they learn something and then they go back and they open something. And that to me is very inspiring. And so I was lucky enough to, through my network, find 4 different personalities, 4 different perspectives, 4 different people.
Yeah.
One was an expat from Orange County, went down, opened up a restaurant. That's a great story. Another one was, the, son of the owners of Caesar's in Tijuana.
Wow.
Where the Caesar salad was invented.
Okay.
So they had to leave, they left Mexico for a while, went to San Diego, and then they came back and, they, basically they expanded their business and he was opening restaurants. Now he's one of the top chefs in Mexico.
Right.
Super cool guy, surfer, grew up in Baja. Another guy was
press pause on that for a second.
Yeah.
How did you find him? How did you know to even look for him?
My buddy, Chewy, my buddy Chewy set me up. He just knows so many people in Baja. These are basically, I'd say, I think 3 out of 4 were his contacts, or 2 out of 4.
Right.
We went down there before and kind of scouted and stuff, but Chewy.
Yeah.
Chewy Tovar, great guy. So we were able to get time with him. He's got all these exciting restaurants and so that was fun. And then we found, this guy, Joe Malagon from Malagon Winery.
Okay.
Who crossed the border when he was 7 to be reunited with his family on a watermelon farm.
Wow.
His parents were picking watermelons.
Wow.
So he comes across the border. The farmer, paid for Joe to come meet up with his family. And I think this was in the Salinas Valley.
Okay.
This is a few months ago with the interview and still
Right.
in the edit. So some details are forgotten, but basically, he was given the task of trapping gophers.
Okay.
And he was paid like 25 cents a tail.
Right. So he's running around killing gophers on the
So
farm.
he had 400 traps, right?
Right.
So that's, if he catches 400 gophers, that's $100.
Right.
Right. So he was turning the traps twice a day.
Wow.
$200. And I think this was in the 60s.
Wow.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Killing it.
Yeah.
And his dad was like, good job, by the way.
Yeah. Good job.
Right.
Way to do it.
You are going to go to the farmer and give back every cent as a thank you for him bringing you back and reuniting us.
Oh my goodness. What a
Right.
lesson.
Yeah. So anyways, so Joe, great guy, went on to own, I think it was like a landscaping business and some other businesses, and saved up money and bought all this land and then, started a winery.
Right.
This is what he wanted to do.
My goodness.
And now he has this successful winery. And that to me is a super fucking inspiring story.
Absolutely.
These people are living the American dream.
Yeah. I mean,
Not me, let's say not the people like buying a house and buying a new car, and not, love you all who
Right.
do buy houses and cars, but the sole proprietorship, the small business, this is, what drives, what used to drive, America.
Right.
And I feel like we're kind of losing that in a way. So to meet these people who aren't even from our country, by the way,
Yeah.
to do this, we could all learn from them. And it's as simple as it could be your gardener.
Right.
It could be the guy cutting your lawn who has this amazing story, who you could learn something from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so that's what made it so special for me. It's like, it's so eye-opening. These guys take these shitty jobs, cutting lawns or, cleaning out toilets or whatever, but they have this bigger dream, and it's just so inspiring.
right. It is. I mean, you're talking about you said 7-year-old kid
Yeah.
he's going to go reunite with his family, which is already an epic journey for any little kid.
Yeah.
And he's going to a watermelon picking operation.
Yeah. Trapping gophers.
Right. Exactly. So,
And to all those people who say child labor is a bad thing, I grew up, I was picking strawberries in the fields as a kid,
Right.
6 or 7.
Right.
Great experience. Worked in a Chinese restaurant washing dishes for no pay for dinner because we were that poor.
right.
It was a good thing that I did that.
Yeah.
It kept me out from causing trouble or havoc or whatever.
Sure.
And, instead of teaching your kids how to, 2 + 2 is 4, whatever, that's cool.
Yeah.
Teach them about hard work, because that's what you're going to be doing when you graduate high
Yeah.
school.
Learn what a day's work earns you.
Exactly.
And decide, I don't want to make 25
Learn what it's
bucks.
like to be a responsible person.
Sure.
Go get a job.
Yeah.
Save up some money, then go buy that toy that you want. Now
Yeah.
we'll see how bad you want that toy.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Just something that you want versus something that you have to actually earn.
Yeah.
Is a big
It's a whole
difference.
different animal when you have to pay for stuff.
Yeah. Where do you want to go? I mean, if you're able to, if you get some kind of a show where you've got a budget, what's on the list?
Oh man, again, that goes back to what kind of a show is it going to be? I mean, if I had my sort of like genie magic lantern,
I have one of those.
great, I want to rub it. I would say, man, I'm really fascinated with third world countries.
Okay.
I hope that's not like a bad thing to say these days. PC, we're so
You're
like
supposed to say developing
developing country.
Yes.
No, I like developing countries. I feel like there is more of a soul, I would say, in developing countries because people have less and they just seem to be so happy.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm a simple person, and it seems like if you have a lot less, appreciate the things that you do have, like your family, your friends, and Lucas is over here being like friends. Great friend, by the way. But no, I feel like you have like a strong appreciation for the simple things in life instead of like, well, Tommy has a new iPod.
Right.
I want a new iPod.
Yeah.
I need a pink iPhone.
Yeah, and there's good things about that. I mean, we're afforded a very comfortable living in our country by and large. I mean, just tens of millions of people in this nation have a very nice existence.
Yeah.
There are people that struggle, absolutely. All the problems that we have pale in comparison. I've spent a lot of time in Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah. All of our problems here pale in comparison to a single day over there.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're worried about survival, day to day. You want to go out and bring flour back to your part of town and you make a run for your buddies. Well, you had better have been approved to do that because they'll take it from you and they'll kill you. They'll take an eye. They'll, anything. And so, yeah, you have to appreciate how hard it is to exist in a lot of those kind of countries.
Yeah.
A conflict zone is you'll be fascinated by it. If you ever get a chance to go, let me know. I'll gladly tell you what I know, or heck, I'll jump next to you and show you. But
damn. And how long were you there?
I've got 70 months in combat zones.
Whoa.
Yeah. So years. And I didn't spend time on the American camp. I spent time out in the villages. And one of the things
what were you doing in the villages?
I did a lot of advising for the military in terms of culture and what I basically did, if you're going to capture this quickly, is I would explain to the people in the town what the military, what the State Department were trying to do. This is what they're trying to, but I have to explain that in a way they can understand it because we all tell them, here's what we're doing. Yeah. But it's very directive and authoritative. Yeah. And then I would communicate back to the American side and say, this is what they're asking. This is what they are seeing. This is what they're receiving. And so then it lets the people in charge, because no one's trying to do a bad job. Right. But it's a very hard job to do. And so if you can't cross-culturally communicate, and who has time to do that, it's very tough to achieve the net effect. So here you're someone who's able to do this kind of thing where you're able to go into a village or some kind of remote place and talk to people because you're not shocked by the fact that there's rats on the floor or their existence doesn't put you off enough to where you're almost automatically offensive. And not because you're being offensive. It's just you're so shocked, like how can you deal with a person who's in straight shock all the time? Yeah. Yeah. I think that'll play out well for you as you go out and experience all these crazy things you're going to experience.
Well, I saw a lot on that trip, the busing trip. Yeah. So I'm walking through and, look, if the only place to get meat is, hanging from a wood, hut with no refrigeration, basically you either buy it or you don't eat meat. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, but yeah, it definitely, once you get out of here, you start to realize how kind of insane we are. Yeah.
So we haven't heard a whole lot of places that you want to go specifically. Is anything stick out specific? I know developing countries are important. Yeah,
developing countries. Because I do surf, and I haven't been surfing as much as I wish I could, but,
isn't that always going to be the case?
Yeah. It would be really awesome to go to, like Indonesia or the Philippines. Because I can eat some really weird shit. Yeah. Like
those guys will pickle anything.
Yeah. Like balut, right?
Okay. Tell everybody what balut is.
Balut is basically the developing, chicken inside the egg. It's a fertilized egg that, I don't know how many weeks or whatever, but basically it's kind of between a chicken and an egg. Right. So what came first? Yet. Well, maybe balut. Balut.
So I know you're not necessarily the food guy, but should cover some of this stuff. You have eaten some crazy things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And is that part of your experience that you're trying to do? Is it more of a shtick? What is it?
Ooh, good question. I would say it's a curiosity. Well, I've gone places and there's been like such strange, at the time, strange things, right? Right. You see, when I was in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I saw grasshoppers, chapulines, for the first time, I'm like, oh God, weird. I got to eat it, because I wanted to what is that experience? What does it taste like? Is it disgusting or is it really amazing? And, so I had some, I'm like, God, these are salty. Yeah. And that was it. It's kind of toasty and whatever, but part of it's kind of like a dare to myself. Part of it's kind of like pushing myself, but the curiosity comes from, basically, when I was a kid, I would only eat really plain things.
Right.
I was one of those kids that I only eat this. And I remember being at a Chinese restaurant with my uncle, and I was like, it was right after I moved to San Diego. I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Right.
I'm like, I want sweet and sour chicken. Cause that's all I like. You
Yeah.
know, one of those like rat kids, right? So, and he's like, well, have you tried this? I'm like, no, I don't like it. It was like cashew chicken.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, of course.
He's like, have you had this? What about this cashew chicken? I'm like, it's gross. Well, have you tried it? No. And he's like, well, how do you know it's gross if you've never tried it before?
Right.
I'll tell you what, if you don't like it, you can order something new. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Order something new? Cause that was something that we never were able to do. I mean, just financially, it was like, my mom was a waitress in a Chinese restaurant, the same one I was washing dishes in.
Right.
Right before this. And so it was like, you just I ate my stuff and that was it. And I had like a $2 a week allowance.
Right.
So ordering a whole different plate was like,
Extravagant.
yeah, you're not
Right.
going to do that. And then so I did, and it was really good. And after that, I would just order all kinds of things,
Yeah.
He'd be like, hey, let's order some escargot. And the funny thing about my uncle, he'd be like, yeah, have you had escargot before? Let's order escargot. It'd be
Right.
great. And we'd be like, okay, here you go. The escargot comes. He'd be like, how do you like it? I'm like, oh, this is really good. Here, take a bite. He'd be like, no, I'm not eating that. So it's funny. He was encouraging me to eat all this stuff, and he was like the pickiest eater ever. And,
Right.
But it was a great learning experience, and I'm super thankful that he definitely encouraged me to do that, because I did come home one time from the 99 Ranch Market. It's a Chinese grocery chain here,
Right.
with a frozen rabbit and a cow penis.
Well,
And I put the rabbit on the grill. It tastes like chicken. And then I boiled the pizzle, the cow penis, bull penis, I should say. And it was the most disgusting thing at the time I've ever eaten.
at the time.
At the time.
So something else has beat it since
yeah.
then. What's beat it since then?
Oh, geez. I don't even know where to start.
Why was penis terrible?
It was like the texture, and, it just smelled. I boiled it, not knowing what to do with it. And I boiled it, I think, way too long. It turned into like this rubber ball texture.
Yeah.
It's like a bouncy ball.
So
And
you don't like your penis rubbery. You want it to be more
I don't
tender?
like my penis hard. I like it soft and tender.
Okay. All right. And then, so since your foray into penis eating,
Right.
what's the next thing that came out and shocked you?
I would just kind of travel around different places and eat different things. I had sundae, which was like blood sausage and organ meats and things that's not too disgusting. It's just real like minerally tasting, kind of like liver.
Sure.
And then I had fried stinky tofu, which was utterly disgusting.
Would you go again? Would you try it again?
Yeah. I mean, I'll eat anything. The thing is with food is like, if you don't like it, just spit it out.
Right.
It's not going to kill you. It's not going to.
Sure.
It's a very small commitment. If you don't like it, yeah, you wash your mouth out and the taste is gone. Yeah, that was gross. And I picked up some, oh crap, I forgot to bring it. Picked up some North Korean fermented fish.
Oh.
That's a really tough eat.
Is it really?
Oh yeah. Cause imagine fermenting fish.
Yeah.
Your fish is already fishy, and then you're fermenting it and whatever.
Right.
And it turns into this putrid, rotten nastiness. Well, they mask it with like a lot of peppers and stuff like
Lord.
that. So, and it comes out like there's bones in it.
Wow.
So along with the wretched taste, you're dealing with these small bones, kind of like
You wonder
sardine
why.
bones, and you're like, ugh.
Who said, you know what, let's take this shitty thing and let's keep trying. Let's keep pushing.
Well, it's fermentation's a form of preservation for food, so it's just
yeah.
their thing.
Just go catch another fish.
Yeah. Could be why Kim Jong-un is so crazy. Grew up on fermented fish.
That could be. So, okay, when it comes to eating things, it seems to me there's three things you have to get over. Right?
Yeah.
There's texture. There's the taste, obviously,
Yeah.
and then just the thought of what you're eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you put any more categories in there, or would you say that's about it?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah. The texture. Yeah. And
Which
what it
hurdle's
is.
the hardest for you?
What hurdle?
Yeah, which one of those?
Oh, I would say taste.
Taste.
Yeah,
really
like
bad.
texture I'm cool with. I can handle any texture. I just pretend it's something else or whatever. Getting what it is, I don't, if it's an eyeball, I'll eat it. If it's a penis, whatever, no big deal. But I've had like uterus and, like all kinds of stuff. It's not really what it is, because, we have this bias of thinking like, oh, it's something that normally is not eaten. It's
Right.
gotta taste bad. You don't, literally, if you close your eyes and you put it in your mouth, you don't know if it's going to taste bad or good until you actually taste it. So taste is definitely the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Uterus. Wow.
Yeah.
You and your reproductive organ eating.
Well, I'm running out of options here. I've eaten a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like, challenge myself in a way.
I drink, it's a common drink up in San Francisco, one of the startups I was working at, and it has like little like slimy balls in the juice. You know what I'm talking about?
Chia?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or are we talking about kombucha?
It was one of those two. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, and I drank it and I was like, man, and normally when I drink something, I just boom, I
Or it
swallow
could be
the whole thing.
boba. Boba has those tapioca balls in it.
No. This is, I don't know.
Slimy is definitely chia.
It was chia.
Was it
I think
fermented
so.
and kind of funky?
It was a little bit
vinegary?
Yeah, a little bit like that, and a little bit bubbly.
Yeah, probably the kombucha with chia.
Yeah,
not my favorite.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? Why?
Well, kombucha is amazing. Some people really don't like it, and I am not a fan of vinegar. And the first time I had it, I was like, why do people drink this? Now I've acquired it in taste, but kombucha is amazing. It has a lot of probiotics and has minerals and vitamins and it's good stuff.
For me, it was more of a kind of a combination of the mental, because it looked terrible, and then the texture was bad because it's just snotty. But that, and the other thing I ate one time in Iraq was I was served a pickled mango, and I love mango. Mango to me is the perfect fruit because you can jelly it, turn it into cake, pie.
It's
anything.
amazing.
And so I'd never had it pickled. And I was ready for it, but the taste didn't match my expectation. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I wanted that to be a sweet pickle."
Yeah, pickled Indian mango. It's good, but it's green and it's hard and it's salty and spicy, and you're kind of like, "Huh?" Mango?
Yeah, it threw me off. So I would try it again, but I would have to know, like in that particular case, this is the kind of. 'Cause I was ready for like a sweet, lovely pickled mango.
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny when you taste something like that and you think it's going to taste one way and it's completely opposite.
Yeah. It's hard to get over. Some of the milky drinks abroad are a little challenging, because it's not
They're
milk.
salty.
They're salty, or it's like the yogurt and then there's different textures in there, and that can be a little tough. You get like yogurt smacking you in the lip while you're trying to drink. And they're like, no, bite the yogurt and then drink it. And you're trying to do it all. But it is a great way to share culture, though, to eat someone else's food, and likewise to share your food with them.
Oh yeah, I mean, try and imagine if you spend your whole afternoon cooking something. It's your go-to dish. It's your signature dish, and you have a person over. This person enjoys it. You just feel great about yourself, especially if it's someone from out of town or country.
Yeah, and if they're game, like, okay, you may not like turkey gizzards, but I'm gonna make them for you because it'll be kind of fun. And then if you're able to enjoy that, it's better.
Yeah,
I did a taco night for a bunch of Afghan cops and their mayor. And it was a blast. They're like, how are you going to cook it? Because I'm doing the best I can. I got a bunch of stuff mailed to me from the States, so it's all boxed up. And they're just fascinated by the whole process.
Yeah.
And these guys are cooking with our scrap cardboard. So I've got a pot and I'm whipping things together. It's all open fire cooking.
Nice.
I got it all together and I had to show them how to make a taco, the whole thing. And so by the time we started eating, all the food was cold, but it was all preserved food. But it was hilarious. These guys, they weren't sure if they liked it, but they sure as hell didn't want to turn me down because I'd worked so hard. You know?
Yeah.
And you got to imagine, I'm cooking by myself for 20 dudes and trying to make it all match up. And I've only got like 2 flames to work. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. See, that just goes to show you that food brings, people together. Here you are working for the State Department, the military, as this cultural liaison between us and them. And here you are, you're cooking a meal instead of, and that's a way to bring people together. So that says a lot.
One of the lessons I learned, and it seems so obvious now, but, we would always go out and always encounter them and eat their food, and they're not the wealthy folks. Some of them are, but by and large, we show up with 20 dudes. They're going to feed all of us. They have to.
Yeah.
Right. And then I realized they never come eat with us. So I started inviting the leader people that I was talking to up to eat. And then I'd give them ice cream and I'm like, look around. What do you like? Take whatever you want. And you're not supposed to do that, but I don't give a fuck. I'm like, this guy's a leader. I'm trying to show him that we're not assholes. I'm not going to be like, here's the food you can't eat.
Yeah.
This
is ours. You guys only get this.
You got kids that are like, you guys have ice cream. And I realized two things about ice cream. Ice cream is super powerful to troops when they're like forward projected out on the side of a mountain. You can't get ice cream. You can't airdrop ice cream in. It just doesn't work. I mean, it's too long en route. It melts.
Right. Yeah.
So I would always bring ice cream because I had a direct route. And I would get there, and sometimes they didn't want to like me because I'm Pete and I'm a civilian. I get paid a lot, and I mean, who knows what, right? Yeah. But then they get clued in by the higher ups. Hey, Pete brought the ice cream, and they're like, "I like Pete. I like Pete a lot."
Hey, when's Pete coming back?
The power of ice cream. And then same thing with these elders. You're like, before you do anything, you're gonna have some ice cream.
Yeah.
And they're like, ice cream. I love ice cream. And they have bullshit ice cream out there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We have standard Baskin Robbins, but to them, that's like.
Oh yeah.
The greatest ice cream ever.
I think I was listening to something on NPR about like Guantanamo or something like that, and I think some of the rewards for something would be like a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like you get somebody to crack for a Snickers bar.
I once got to have sex with a girl because I had access to the commissary and I could get her Oreos. And she's like, I'm coming over. And I'm like, all right. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Amazing. Hopefully it was double stuffed.
Oh, it was always double stuffed. Has to be. So tell us what you want to promote so we can pay the bills here for you.
Right. Well, since my Mexico project isn't out yet, I would just say follow along.
Okay.
Follow the journey because it's still en route.
Okay.
My personal journey to a travel. But, if you want to, you subscribe on my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. I basically interact with every single person on Twitter. You send me a tweet, I'm either going to say hello back at you or answer your question or favorite your tweet and let you know that I read it. So yeah, I'm super talkative, super friendly, and I stay pretty on point with my message and my brand, if you want to call it
What's your Twitter handle?
It is at Jax Austin, JAXAUSTIN.
And what about your YouTube channel?
Same thing, YouTube/Jax Austin, and then Facebook too. And they're all pretty much linked together. You can find me from one to another, Instagram, all that stuff. So yeah, just come say hi. Hopefully you will see me on a TV set soon.
Oh boy.
And if not, you can always plug your laptop into your TV.
Yeah, that's true.
And then boom, I'm on TV.
Watch it that way. Yeah, just a final note. We have another guy that was on, and he's got 500,000 plus followers on Twitter. And
nice.
All his business comes from Twitter. And he's a travel guy. Uh-huh. Travel, wine, luxury, several different planks in his platform. Yep. And it says the same thing. His rule is just because it's social media doesn't mean it's not human interaction.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's weird to do on the street, like if you came up and said, "Hey, Jax," and you just ignored me, that'd be awkward.
No, that would. I've been noticed a few times around town and at restaurants and different things, and I always say hi.
Yeah, so
I'm a friendly dude online. I'm a friendly guy in person, and
right.
Unless I'm in a bathroom stall, don't say hi to me.
Well, that would be weird, right? Yeah. But so when someone says hi on Twitter, you say hi back. I try to do the same thing. I try to be communicative.
It's just because it's online, it doesn't mean that it's any less human interaction.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So say hi, shout at me. So, just normal stuff. If you see me, just come up and say, hey, I'm so-and-so and whatever.
Yeah. And then hopefully we see you on some channel here soon.
Hopefully, that could be happening before we know it. Who knows?
Right. Well,
it's big. I'm leaving a couple mystery things out there. Who knows what is next?
Well, maybe by the time we get it up, we'll have to cut a new intro and we'll just let them know.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate
for sure, man. It was fun.
Thanks for Lucas for sitting in.
Yeah, thanks for our. I don't know. What title do you want over there?
Engineer.
Engineer.
As always, works good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right. Thanks.
You got it.